Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Enzo Enlighten's topic of today is the government, United States government, that is evil, or are they incompetent? Please stay the route of this video. There's a couple minutes in here. I'm going to try to be clear as possible. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just putting some points out there, and I want you to make your own decisions. Anybody out there is a human being, a species, an animal primate species, has something called observation, has something called common sense and intuition to know that something is wrong and something could have been handled a little bit differently. So let's start looking at some of the things. But a quick precursor, if you look at it, look at two big situations we have in the country. We have an excessive amount of homeless people and mentally ill homeless people. We have an excessive amount of homeless veterans and mentally ill homeless veterans. The United States can snap their fingers, raise money, go to war within a week or 2 weeks. They can snap their fingers, and push out $1,200 stimulus packages for everybody out there, the working men who lost their job, but they can't snap their fingers and make better programs and better salvation for the homeless vets out there that have actually given their lives and their time to allow us to have this operating country, and they can't snap their fingers to get the homeless people, out of dying in the street. It's a very weird motion of, we know we can make the money, we know we have the programs, but we don't do enough. Why is that? Are we evil or are we just incompetent? Okay, so this is where I'm going with it. So the coronavirus hits, and there's now more and more reports coming out that we knew this was coming, we had intel. Would you believe that we had intel? We could put a person on the moon. We can find, dictator leaders in holes in the ground and in caves. We can locate the most wanted, but we don't, and we could track people on the phones, but we can't have the intel of knowing what's going on in labs or in other countries. We sure as hell can. So why were we not jumping on that immediately, even though we have technology? Evil or incompetence? Also, the reaction time to the pandemic, I don't know what to do, does not make any sense to me. We have pages in the history books of other pandemics that have showed how humans and civilizations and towns have been affected and how they reacted. And we also have been running great algorithms and simulations to know that this was coming. It's already in the books. Why were we not prepared to react with the information that we had? Are we incompetent or are we evil? Right? Now the virus spreads, it goes all over the place. We are not allowed to yell fire in a crowded room. I guess that's against the Constitution or freedom of speech or something. But the media can go out there and yell panic, run, you're going to die, coronavirus everywhere. With giving you about 10% of the information of what's happening, but not the other 90%. Anybody that spent time looking on the internet can find out from experts, from doctors, that there are other stats out there of the people that were recovering, how they were recovering, trials and tests in vaccines, trial and test in development of vaccines, and also treatments. And also there's plenty of information out there for people about how to survive in life, how to balance the money, who they should be calling to quiet the debt or stop the debt. Like, there's so much important information out there that you could have given the general public so that they can actually take all that information and make a good, constructive, rational opinion about how to handle the coronavirus, how to handle their changing life that you just changed by pushing the pause button on the entire economy from working. But no, the news is allowed to yell crazy stuff, panic and paranoia to the entire public without repercussions. There should be watchdogs on the news, and there actually should be some charges and laws against the news for not reporting all of the complete facts. If you switch to any of the mainstream news channels, they all copy and paste the same thing. It makes you wonder why they all get big salaries if they all repeat each other. Does anybody have an original story? So the government for not going after the media, are they evil? Are they incompetent? And same thing for the media. Are you evil or are you incompetent? Horrible things. People didn't have to be paranoid that much. Now the coronavirus goes around the entire country, spreads like wildflower all over the place. Now we hear the cries all of a sudden, that we don't have masks, we don't have respirators. What are we going to do? Why are you even crying about that? Get busy and get to work. You have 3D printers to make tons of warehouses. You can take over spaces whenever you want. You have enough people that can sit there, and you have the plans to make the respirators and the masks. Why do we delay so long in that, and why do we cry to the public? Are we evil or are we incompetent? What's the only benefit of a bunch of old people dying? And because most of the people that have died from corona are older people with pre-existing conditions. What's the benefits of that? Well, and I'm not saying this is a conspiracy theory, but you just don't have to pay Social Security pensions or have a heavy weight on the healthcare system if you lose the old people, right? Think about that for a second, right? So our reaction time was slow and it was quite incompetent. That's the big problem over there with the coronavirus. You push the pause button on the entire economy that nobody can work and no one can generate money for their families. But you don't push the pause button on bills and tell people not to charge bills. Pause the economic game and say, we will return to having a functional economy when we salvage the lives of every person out there. Why was that not done? The seesaw, you pause one side of the making money, but you don't pause side of the bills, right? That's a big problem. There's some incompetence going on there. And then you decide to release a $1,200 stimulus package to everybody. Well, it's $1 trillion stimulus package, but you start, sending out $1,200 stimulus checks to people. And not only do you wait to send them out, you fight over it, and then you send them out. You send people's tax returns in 10 days. You raise money for wars in a matter of days. But you have a problem in terms of getting money out to people, and then you give them one check after about 4 or 5 weeks, and then you're fighting over the next check. What are you doing to people to break these businesses? What's the benefit of breaking the middleman in the business? Well, if you break the middleman in the business, they're going to lose their business, they're going to lose their land. Good options for the government to come in there and snatch things up and own properties, isn't it? I'm not saying that's the real reason behind it, but why would you do that? Common sense says you should be sending out the money, and people say, "Oh, the government says, well, we don't have enough money. We gotta go into more deficit. We're already in a $22-23 trillion deficit. We're never going to pay that back in life, and the money that we have never matches up to the gold that we have in the reserve. So we've been printing monopoly money, inflation, hyperinflation. What's the problem? Keep printing the monopoly money. Money is nothing more than saying it has value. It's a joke right now." So this whole entire thing has been handled completely crazy, and I wonder if the government was just evil in terms of all this, or if they were incompetent, because the obvious reasons, the obvious observations of what could have been done were not done. Now, here's what the government should have been doing all along right now. Obviously reacting in all those ways that I said they should have reacted, but also there should be, in the future moving forward, there should be better plans in place to help people. Healthcare should be better structured to help people. And not only that, but the GDP of the entire country, like what's the problem over here? Why don't we cap the outsourcing so we actually have money in our economy? Why don't we go ahead and build more industrial warehouses so we can have more industry here? And why don't we create labs and have engineers and scientists and inventors in there developing products that maybe the world will want to buy? Why is there not a concern to empower our country? And this goes for any country out there. Empower yourselves. Empower our country to be better equipped with managing finances, building product to have value for other parts of the world, and reacting better. Why do we have so many politicians in place that don't know how to react? I mean, what about those senators that cashed out on stocks? Why are they not being followed up with? Where is the watchdog on the senators? Where is the watchdog on the government? Where is the transparency in the money distribution? Where is the watchdog on the media? Poor people out there are left with nothing. And here's another thing, people, keep this in mind as well, a lot of you out there. A lot of you sat at home and watched Netflix the whole entire time and been eating. You haven't been planning to restructure your life better. You're waiting for the government to tell you to go back to work. It's no question that humans are primates. They are also a herd species, a sheep species. It's been tested over and over again that, especially by Leeds University, that if 2 people are well informed and know what they're doing, chances are 200 people will follow them. A lot of us follow with anything. Look at the news when they had Black Lives Matter. They made everybody all upset about police officers, wanted to change the world in a riot. The news stops reporting it, everybody forgets what they were fighting for. We're so flippity and floppity as people. So I think 2 things should happen. The government should definitely restructure themselves so they're not evil or incompetent, but more efficient. And I think people out there, us people in general, us hardworking citizens out there for our families, should actually restructure our lives so we are in better shape, better health, better financial health, and also we have more multiple streams of income. We need to start improving and empowering ourselves because we cannot rely on the government. It's been proven, guys. So anyway, this has been my vlog for today. Thank you for spending 9 minutes with me. I love you all. Thank you.